Hey guys, this is the full process for my first ever Monster High custom. I am going to be basing this custom off of OOAK from the animated series Monster High. I'll be using this doll of Gil as the base. So Gil has a lot of fins and webbing on his body. I had to kind of pluck that off of him. And my commentary on this will probably be going in and out because it's like 4 minutes long. But basically, I sketched out an idea of what I wanted the doll to look like. Once I had a good, decent sketch, I wrapped the head in tin foil. And then I sculpted epoxy sculpt clay on top of that tin foil. The tin foil was meant to leave some space in between the neck joint and the head. That way I could still have mobility in that head. This was my first time working with epoxy sculpt, so I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about crafting on dolls as well from this. But I'm going to be quiet now until I have to explain what I'm doing again. So after I let the epoxy sculpt dry for maybe like 2 days, I started painting over it with some simple acrylic paint. I did about 2 or 3 coats on the sculpt with this white. Then I mixed some green for the iris. Just clean that up a little bit with a Q-tip. And once I did that, I started adding paint for the veins. I did a combination for the veins. I sculpted some of them with epoxy and some of them are painted on. I thought that would make it look a lot more visceral and textured. Despite what I told myself, I did end up painting the body. I was like, I don't need to paint the body. It's not necessary. But I thought that was the best way to like cover up textures from the previous doll, including these empty pockets where the fins were. I sculpted some veins on there after I ripped it off. See that good rip? So I sculpted veins onto his legs and arms with epoxy sculpt. As for the spine, it was kind of a fin, so I just refashioned it into some eyeball veins. And this is one of the hands as I was attempting to rip the webbing off, make his hands look less like fins. So this was the process of sculpting the veins for the legs and arms. And last time I uploaded a video, someone was like, hey, use gloves when you use epoxy so you don't develop a plastic allergy. I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and listen to them because I'm new to this. That's just a little mush action. I really like how you have to mush the epoxy A and B clays together. So that's just me mushing it until I can roll it up into a nice little veiny mess. Once I had those veins sculpted on really well, I just let it dry for about a day. After that day, I went over that with acrylic paint as well. One thing that I'm going to have to do more research on is how to make the joints keep the same pigmentation because as you can see there's a lot of friction in that area, so it's really hard to get it to dry in a way to where the paint doesn't come off. So yeah, I did another coat of green. After that coat dried, that's when I applied the pink to the veins. I thought the contrast of the green and the pink looked very, very nice. And although my initial approach was to paint the torso first, Mod Podge it, and let it dry and paint the limbs separately, I ended up painting the torso again halfway through because I noticed some errors on the neck and chest. So I did repaint the torso a bit. Then I painted the limbs, sealed it all with Mod Podge, and I did have some flaws on those joints there. But altogether, I don't think this was bad for a first custom. I'm really proud of it, and I've been wanting to do this forever, so I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys like it as well. Also, I'm working on getting him some clothes, alright? We're working on it, but he can borrow Claude Wolf's clothes in the meantime. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you like my first ever custom. Let me know if you have any tips or tricks, if you've done this yourself, and if you have some pants for him, let me know.